like your energy. I don't like the fake handshakes.
It's week 2 of the NFL preseason, where depth charts and playbooks will be put to the test. It's the Broncos and the Saints, next on Madden NFL 23.
We are down on the bayou as you get a look inside the Superdome here in New Orleans. Tonight, it's a preseason matchup between the Denver Broncos and the New Orleans Saints. And Charles Davis, happy to be back alongside you. And I'll tell you what, yes, it's just week 2 of the preseason, but now they've got one game under their belts. And a lot of guys trying to prove some stuff down on the field here today.
Not only that, these coaches like to win. And I used to think it really didn't matter who won in the preseason. Then I watched some of those shows that the NFL does. And you see the coaches in preseason after a loss jumping all over their guys. So I learned one valuable lesson. Wins and losses count no matter what time of year it is.
Now the kicker, Brandon McManus, about ready to get us started. And we are underway from the Superdome. And this will go as a touchback, and they will begin things at the 25. And here come the Saints for their opening drive. They'll be under the command of the former Florida State Seminole, the #1 overall pick in 2015, Jameis Winston.
Throughout his career, a few have doubted Jameis Winston's ability to throw the football. The concerns, they've always centered around his accuracy and taking care of it. When he makes good decisions on the field, excellent numbers usually result.
And he's going to be dropped following a pickup of 7 past the 30 to the 32. And hold on here, because on that last run, it looks like we have a player who is shaken up. Well, you hate to see this before the regular season even begins. And we'll take a break and come back. More preseason action in a moment. They'll operate from the 32-yard line here, 2nd and 3. Here's Winston. And on the left sideline, he caught it, but out of bounds, according to the head linesman. Incomplete, so the ball a little late getting there, and it's 3rd down. 3rd play of this opening drive as they're looking at a 3rd and 3. Now Winston. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked up by Michael Ojemudia. And he takes this one back into the end zone. And the Bronco defense has a touchdown. So a big defensive play there on the opening drive, no less, as they make the interception and bring it back for the score.
And I think that's a signal for how this defense wants to play. They want to be disruptive, and you know they're going to take some chances.
Well, sometimes it can burn you, but right there, it paid off. A heck of a play there defensively, getting the interception, navigating his way into the end zone for the touchdown. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6, and now the kick is away. And this will not be returned. It's a touchback, and they'll begin at the 25. New Orleans Saints, they get ready to set up shop for their 2nd drive. Now remember, they were just out here a moment ago and threw the pick 6, so we'll see if they can take better care of the football this go-around.
Yeah, and sometimes, partner, I think it's almost better that you just throw the pick 6 and you come right back out on the field. You're not over on the sidelines dwelling for it for very long. You're not hearing everyone say, oh, hey, you'll get them next time. Hey, don't worry about it. All that stuff just goes right out the window. You're right back out on the field with a chance to atone.
From the 31, Winston. This one taken in by Olave. A 6-yard pass on back-to-back plays. Picks up the first.
I think that's a big pickup for a first down, because when you run a drag route against zone, you're sometimes asking for trouble because you might run into a defender.
Yeah, well, there they ran into a first down. Executed it to perfection. And a 5-yard gain gets him to the 42. After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
2nd and 5 now. Winston. And they will not get the connection there. It's incomplete.
They've given him some different looks here defensively in the early going. He's only hit 2 of his first 5 passes. With a big 3rd down coming up, he's hoping he's got a play dialed up that can take advantage of whatever the defense throws at him.
He'll get this one underneath to Kamara. And he is going to have a Saints first down by about a yard as they find a way to convert there on 3rd down and 5.
Another catch for him there on this drive, Brandon. And it looks like they're going to utilize him out of the backfield any way they can. And that time they pick up a first down. So now on defense, do you assign a man to him and try and cover him before he gets going?
And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up. Winston now from the 50. That's taken in by Callaway. And this is going to be another first down as they'll make the tackle at the Broncos' 38-yard line. It's a gain of 11 yards that time, and it produces a... Winston now to throw on first down. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And he's going to be taken down right at the line. To throw again on 2nd down. Winston. And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. That time, Bradley Chubb shooting in there for the sack. So now after the sack, Winston and the Saints needing to figure out what to do. Tough play, 3rd and long. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And Callaway taking it in left side. And they're going to get this to about the 44-yard line.
Well, we hear so often how tackling has become almost a lost art in the NFL game. But it's so important to tackle well on these receivers, especially in a play like this one. 3rd down, they gave him the underneath stuff. You got to go up and make the tackle right away.
So here are the Broncos now for their opening drive. They're led onto the field by their quarterback, a man who's made quite the name for himself in the NFL, and that's Russell Wilson. So 1st and 10 here for Wilson and the Broncos at their own 20-yard line. Here's Wilson to throw. He's got his tight end. It's Albert Okwuegbunam now. And this will leave him a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on first down. Up at the 29 now, they'll head to the line. 2nd and a yard. Now it's Wilson. Open man Hamler. That's complete. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a first down. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful you're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front, defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
Another connection between the two. This one good for 12 and a first down. To throw again is Wilson. And he's taken down here by the Saints. Pete Werner, the outside linebacker, coming up to drop him for a loss of a full 10 yards. Anytime you sack Russell Wilson, that's a win for the defense. But to get him here on his opening drive of the ball game, that's a really big win for that defense.
And the goal every week, keep him in the pocket. Don't let him get to the perimeter, because when he's in the open field, not only can he hurt you, but also you lose some of the receivers downfield, and they'll hurt you with big plays. On any running play that's called, they're always hoping that it's going to break big and go the distance. But when you get a nice game like that, you're able to do so many things anywhere. You can come back and run essentially the same play again, continue to move the ball on the ground, or you can decide to throw the ball now because usually you have the defense back on its heels.
How about that? They weather the storm of a 3rd and 17 to pick up the first. Really a solid start here on the opening drive, Charles. He's now 4 of 4, and they're already in plus territory.
Brandon, he's been so precise to start this game, like we're watching an operation taking place right now. Master surgeon at work.
Now Gordon on 1st down. And he gets it down to the 32. Give him 10 yards on the pickup, and it'll be 2nd and very short. So back-to-back big runs, picking apart this defense on the opening drive.
I thought this was a passing league. I thought this was the era we were in where the ball was always in the air, right?
They didn't get the memo.
They didn't get the memo, and I know this to be true. Offensive linemen still, to this day, they want to run the football. They want to fire out and hit people across the line of scrimmage, and they're clearing space.
A good position to be in here, 2nd and inches. To throw is Wilson. This one complete to Jerry Jeudy. And he'll be marked down at about the 26-yard line. We got to like what you're seeing from this offense here on the first drive. A nice, sustained series to begin the game, and it will continue after picking up another first there.
Would you say the word methodical comes to mind? I love the execution. I love what they're doing on this drive. They're controlling the ball, controlling the game, controlling the clock.
And he is going to lose yardage here. That one unable to develop, never got going. A loss of a couple, and it's 2nd down. They go play action with Wilson. And that's going to be knocked away and incomplete. And where the time has expired on the first quarter. After 1-7-0 on EA Sports. Ball as we begin quarter number 2, as they've got it with a 3rd down coming up. We'll see what they have drawn up here. A little bit behind the line. 12 yards needed to gain a 1st down. And now the first throw for the backup quarterback. Got a man complete. It's Hamler. And he gets it inside the 10 to the 9. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
That's the 3rd time on this drive that these two connected with each other. They've got a real rapport going. And right now, it's paying off with big chunks of yardage, as shown by that last play.
First and goal, Melvin Gordon. And he'll take this from the 9 down to about the 7.
The yards may start getting a little tougher to come by down here near the goal line. That's good work defensively there on 1st down, holding them to a short gain.
The line of scrimmage, the 7 now on 2nd and goal. Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. And that's going to be knocked away in the end zone. It's incomplete. Credit that good coverage to Paulson and Debo. Got a hand in and knocked it free. They've been denied touchdowns in the red zone twice already. Here comes 3rd and goal. Operating from the gun, Wiggins. He opted to go with a scramble, gets 2 yards, and now it's 4th.
They made a nice effort to stick him with a loss for that play, but it's going to take more than that to keep him from advancing the ball. Should be an entertaining battle anytime he tucks and runs over the second half of this contest.
The kick by McManus is good. So a long drive gets him down inside the 5, but ultimately they settle for just the field goal.
And I have to think that if maybe they were a yard closer, that would have made their decision tougher, and I think they likely would have gone for it. But in this situation, they just decided to take the 3, and I think it was a smart move.
And this will not be brought out. It's a touchback. The New Orleans offense set to take over. Nothing for them yet from an offensive standpoint. Down 10-zip as they come up 1st and 10. A little jet sweep to start the drive. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down. Jameis to throw it. Looking for Thomas, but that's intercepted. Picked off by Pat Surtain. And the Broncos are going to take possession of the football. Before we came up to the booth, the last thing he said as we were walking off the field, I want to play mistake-free football. Well, that just went out the window there with a pick.
And do you remember what you said to me when we were walking up to the booth after he said that? You're like, oh, fatal last words. Every time we hear that, things tend to fall apart a little bit. That's what we saw there. Didn't get enough on that throw, and it turned into an interception.
And he'll get this one down to about the 17. Just a yard on the 1st down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
Yeah, that wasn't a big run, just a short one there. But guess what? Sometimes you treat it like boxing. You throw that jab out there, and you throw it again, you throw it again, then you come with a big punch later. Maybe they're just trying to set them up.
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. Back to throw. Wiggins. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. It'll be a loss of only a couple on the shot. And that will bring up 4th down. And no matter what the situation, the O-line just hates that because they feel like they didn't protect little brother back there, right?
Man, that's just so difficult for them because just think about every single play. When you decide to throw the football, you're dealing with some of the best athletes on the planet. You're talking about guys, if they weren't playing football, they'd be starring in the NBA at power forward. It's really a difficult task.
The kick by McManus is good, and that will extend their lead even further. So the interception set him up with terrific field position, but 3 points, the end result.
Yeah, we can make this one pretty simple, partner. You always want to end drives with points, but that's one that you're going to look back on and probably say, we should have done better there.
And they'll put up the stop sign there as his guys will get it at the 25. The Saints coming out now to take the field. So now, Charles, this drive maybe a touch more important, trying to erase the memory of that interception they had the last time out.
Yeah, and everyone goes through this because even the best in the game, you're going to have games where it just doesn't go right for you, and interceptions result. So, frankly, to me, it's all about how you respond, not just the types of plays that you call, but how you carry yourself, how you show your team that you're still with it, and how you continue to lead.
A short gain here, maybe a yard to the 29.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
This one to the sideline. He's got it. A nice job to keep the feet in, but he is a bit short here on the 1st down. That's going to bring up 4. Gain of 2 there. So they're forced to punt on 4th as this one's away. They'll score that a 36-yard punt, and the Broncos take over, 1st down and 10. And now this offense comes back out onto the field. And they're not going to play this conservative, I don't think. They had the field goal last time, and they're up, but they're looking to put a drive in the end zone.
Oh, I agree with you totally. No one goes out on the field and says, all right, let's just settle for 3, except in certain situations, trying to ice a game, that sort of deal. Most of the time, it's end zone, and that's what you're thinking, and I believe that's exactly what they're thinking as they begin this one.
Yeah, no quarterback ever goes out there saying, hey, let's get 3, right?
Not one that I've ever met.
Call that a very strong gain of 24.
But one of the ways the quarterbacks keep all the receivers alive in a play, never lock in on any one guy. Make sure you keep your eyes moving, scan the field, and here he finds the open guy for a nice pickup.
Throw to the right here to Gordon. Oh, he's got some breathing room. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. Now a timeout here, at least for the moment. Looks like one of the Saints is injured, shaken up on that last play. Well, injury's never good, especially here in the preseason. Hopefully nothing serious. They'll take a look at him, and we'll step aside for a moment. They go play action here on first down. And he's going to go down. They sack him back right around the 30. No stopping Peyton Turner on that sack. He would not be denied. So, Charles, no turnovers yet for this offense, but those sacks now, they're starting to pile up.
And one thing usually leads to another because they've got to figure out how the offensive line and everyone else involved in protection can keep their quarterback upright and allow him a chance to throw the ball downfield.
17 yards for the Broncos there as they've got themselves a first down.
Good strong throw and catch right there. And so far in this game, the alleys have been open for them to get completions, and they're taking advantage of it.
And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. From the 13 now, they work on 1st and 10. They'll run it up the middle now. Gordon. And he's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on first down. From the 4, this is 2nd down and 1. Operating from the gun. Manley, the quick slant caught. 4 yards on the play. That's going to lead to 1st and goal.
Well, if you do read man coverage, Brandon, the drag route's a pretty good one to run against it because you're running away from people on it.
They'll try and punch it in. Gordon, and he'll get in. Touchdown. Gordon, a touchdown run there from a yard out as his guys have opened up a very comfortable lead. McManus's point after is good, and that pushes the lead up to an even 20. So that winds up a 7-play drive all told, and it's capped off by a touchdown run coming from Melvin Gordon. After the touchdown, here's McManus now to kick it away. The return man down to a knee, and this will come out to the 25-yard line. Out onto the field comes New Orleans. And Charles, we'll see what they can do here. Not a ton of time left, but enough certainly to get points out of this drive, and they need them right now because they're trailing.
Yeah, this is exactly why you practice a 2-minute drill all through camp and at least one practice each week before a game. A minute left, more than enough time to string a few completions together, reach the end zone, and then make that walk back to the locker room just a little more animated.
Here's 2nd and 7 now from the 28. Here's Winston. Throw left side complete to Troutman. And he gets this one just shy of the 40. They'll mark him down at the 39. The Saints going to call the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with exactly a minute to go before halftime. The first down throw for Winston. That's to his running back. It's Alvin Kamara. And he'll be out of bounds up near the 45 at the 44. Throwing again on 2nd down. Winston. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete.
As a coaching staff, you can call just about whatever you want because you understand you have guys who reliably take away those massive shots downfield. You're not as worried about it.
And the Broncos get there and take him down. Now the defense going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. Here comes the Saints punter now as he'll come on to kick this one away. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. A 41-yard punt there with no return. And they will take over 1st and 10. The Broncos going to go on offense now late in this first half. And with a 3-score lead already, this is not time for a momentum change, so I'd imagine they'd be happy to just take this into the locker room. On 1st and 10, Manley. And that'll be incomplete.
So now here in the second week of the preseason, you'd expect the starters play a little bit more than they did in week 1, but not a whole lot.
So if you're an offensive coordinator, what are you looking for?
What you're looking for is things getting cleaned up as you go along, because most of your playbook's probably installed. How well are they handling it? Easy in and out of the huddle, no mental mistakes. Are they starting to look like a good offense?
Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked up by the Honey Badger, Tyrann Mathieu. And the Saints are going to take possession of the football. I'm sure as a rookie, even though this is preseason, Charles, interceptions, you got to eat at you quite a bit.
They certainly do, but here's the problem that he's confronted with. He's not the high draft pick. He's not seen as the next guy. He's got to prove himself to everyone and get noticed. So maybe instead of taking the safer throw, you press it a little bit. Try and push it downfield, try and fit into a tight window. And sometimes interceptions result.
Looking to throw again on 2nd down. Winston. And they're going to get this down inside the 15. Now the Saints will use their 3rd and final timeout as they stop it with 16 seconds to go in half number 1. On 1st and 10, Winston. Olave over the middle. He's going to be brought down there in the field of play, and the clock will run. No timeouts. They will not have the chance to bring out the field goal unit. And he was able to shed 1 tackle but could not get away from there. So we come upon halftime with the visiting Broncos taking the lead to the locker room. As we send you on over to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman in our EA Sports Halftime Report. Take it away, Coach.
Okay, Brandon, thank you very much. We'll get back to you and Charles in just a minute. Week 2 of the preseason is upon us. Each team now with just one more game after this one, and then we will get it all started as we normally do on the...
A look around the NFL. We'll have to wait for postgame because we are moving right through halftime and on to the 3rd quarter.
Meanwhile, for the Saints, they did not... same amount of success in the past. counterparts did, as you get a look at the numbers there.
Expect to see a good number of backups going forward as we are back and underway here in preseason week 2. Taken in at the 3. Oh, good return up past the 30. Here comes the Broncos offensive unit here as they'll have it first to begin this third quarter. And they've got the lead. CD, what do you think the message was at halftime?
I don't think the message was too drastic, I think, at the half, or that they need to change things too much. I do think the offensive line can play a little bit better. And I think they'll try and help them out more. They'll probably keep a tight end in a few more times and maybe add a running back to the formation to pick up those pass rushers, because they probably allowed a few too many sacks for comfort in the first half.
Off play action. Wiggins rolling to his right. And he finds a man with a crossing route. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. He was held without a catch in the first half, but he's got one here, and he also picks up a first down.
And while we may be looking at the scoreboard, this offense certainly is not, because they're showing no signs of backing down, even with a 3-score lead here in the third quarter. I think they keep taking their shots. They've seen blown leads happen throughout this league. They don't want to fall victim to it themselves.
They'll run with a backup. This is Williams. And he's going to take this across the 50 and into Saints territory. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
I really like the vision he displayed on that play, because he saw there wasn't a lane to completely break off a huge gain. So he found where there was the most space and got what he could. A nice, dirty run that's a positive play for the offense.
Still a couple yards short of the first as the 3-yard gain brings up a 3rd down.
And that was a good collision right there. And I know this as a former defender. If you're playing linebacker, you're going through a checklist on every play on who you think's going to get the ball, where you think the ball's going to go. Rarely do you expect the fullback position to get it. And on that play he did. So you got to steel yourself at that point, because the contact is going to be strong.
3 yards there, good enough to keep the ball moving.
Maybe not a team yet that runs the ball successfully, that doesn't talk about having an attitude to be a running football team, right? You got to be able to put your nose in there, smell where the first down sticks are, and get there.
So 1st and 10, and if they score on this drive, might have to start digging in our second half blowout material. And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. Kenny Young came in there hard on the blitz and got him down 9 yards behind the line of scrimmage.
This is a little hard for me to compute, because I'm watching sack after sack happen, but somehow they're still behind in the game. I would expect all of this defensive pressure to translate to them taking a lead, and thus far, it hasn't happened. Time's winding down. They don't want to waste this type of performance from these ace pass rushers.
First target, first catch, and a first down.
This is just more of the same. This defense has had no answer on a lot of these throws. They let these receivers run wild, and here's another completion for good yardage.
And he just gets rid of it, throws it away. A wise move there, looked like nobody open, now 2nd down. Following the play here, now we've got an injury. Well, you hate to see this before the regular season even begins. And we'll take a break and come back. More preseason action in a moment. They go back to the ground with Williams. And he'll go down at the 26 following a gain of 6.
Looks to me like maybe there's a little attrition setting in with this drive, because when you see that type of a run, I get the feeling the defense gets a little bit tired.
And that's the last thing they need, especially when they look up at the scoreboard. A bullet throw, but incomplete. You know, during these preseason games, we're in week 2 right now. It's always funny looking at our spot charts up here in the booth, because with all the guys that might play in this one, it seems to get bigger and bigger each year.
Yeah, we pretty much supersize them, don't we? Because, you know, remember, they're carrying 90 now. And with the new rules, they'll carry 90 all the way through the preseason before they make the final cut. Oh, yeah, a lot of guys to learn for these games.
Well, they picked up right where they left off in the first half. First drive after the break, they come away with 3 and increase that lead.
Yeah, and you just want to keep building on that lead, don't you? Whether it's 6 points or 3 points, take everything you can get, keep maneuvering, keep adding to it, keep making it difficult for them to come back.
On first down, Book. Pass caught. It's Kawan Baker. He'll be dropped after a gain of about 6 across the 30 to the 31. They'll come up now 2nd and 4 from the 31. Now Book. Being chased out left. Got this complete to Racey McMath. They'll wind up getting just a yard out of it. And now we've got a 3rd down and 3. Coming up here looking for 3 yards to pick up the first. Book now. He finds his man complete. That's Riley. And he is going to have a Saints first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. And now the ball's out. Fumble near midfield.
Wow, that ball gets knocked free, but a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people are on base in scoring position. One guy doesn't get him home. The next guy comes through and picks him up.
And avoids the turnover. 2 yards the loss, and now they go from 2nd and 2 to a tough 3rd and 4.
This defense is just flat getting after it. They have not given up much of anything in the run game. Case in point right there.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Book. He finds his man complete. It's Riley. And he'll get it out a couple yards shy of midfield at the 48. They'll get only a yard out of that, and it'll bring up 4th down. Here comes the Saints punter now as he's on to punt for the 4th time tonight. This is taken at the 18. 33 yards is the distance on the punt there. And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. Set to take over. The Broncos offense trots back out. And now you've got the clock winding down here in the 3rd quarter. Your 3 scores to the good. What's your approach on this drive?
Too early to fully commit to playing the clock game. Yet at the same time, you're also not going pell-mell like you would in 2-minute offense. This is what NFL offenses call 4-minute football. Take the clock out of the game a little bit, wind it down, but at the same time, keep advancing the ball down the field.
Off the play fake. Wiggins, he's going to loft one deep left side here. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete.
When you look at the scoreboard, you think they'd be pretty comfortable right now with this lead, but these guys are absolutely not going to let up. They want to increase their lead, and they want to do it with a big play. Unable to connect in that attempt.
They'll try and run for it. Here's Williams. Oh, he's hit. He lost the football. Put it on the carpet. And this is picked up by the Saints. And they are going to set up shop at the 32-yard line.
No coach or team's ever happy when someone...
And now before the ball changes hands, just to make sure.
After review of the play, the ruling on the field is confirmed.
So that one overturned. They say the knee was down, and that will not be ruled a fumble. Here we go with Williams. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. So a moment to catch our collective breath after the 4th down conversion. We'll return with more preseason football on EA Sports. Live in New Orleans. A lot of folks starting to make their way to the parking lot. Their guys trail big here to begin quarter number 4. The 4th down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on 1st down. Off the option, here's Williams. And he gets forward up the middle, but only for a couple. It'll be 2nd down.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
And they're going to get this down to about the 37.
Brandon, you know I'm all about quarterbacks protecting themselves, but I have to admit it. I liked what I just saw there. That rookie wasn't afraid of absorbing a big hit. Now, you don't want to see him taking those shots all game long, but he picked up the first down, kept fighting for yards, and was willing to embrace some contact to keep the play moving.
Looking left side, that's complete to Oliver. And he'll be taken down at about the 22-yard line. They have the nice cushion. They just want to pour it on right now, still throwing the football.
And I know my background says, why do you need to do this? Just go ahead and run out the clock and get a win. But as many people pointed out to me, it's a video game, man. Go ahead and put the numbers up. Sportsmanship, not an issue.
Exercise those fingers. And he's going to be brought down at about the 16. 4 yards remain for second down. Now we give up the middle to Williams. And he's brought down just outside of the 10 at the 11. A gain of 5, good enough for the first down. Starting to look like this drive, it may be the final nail in the coffin.
Well, this is why you work out so hard, right? This is why you spend all that time in the offseason. This is why you have those OTAs and mini camps. For these situations, these scenarios, to run someone into the ground and secure a victory.
And he's brought down. Give him 10 that time, escaping the danger, running with it, and picking up a first down.
I haven't met a quarterback yet that didn't enter the league with a massive chip on his shoulder if he wasn't a first-round pick. They want to show the league that they made a big mistake. Determined to get the first down there, no hesitation at all to tuck it and go. I bet he would have tried to run through their entire defense if it meant reaching that marker.
Into a mass of bodies, and I think they held him out. They did. No gain there as he kept it himself at second down. Defense simply not fooled by the draw there.
Well, they were thinking run to begin with, and what they tell their defensive linemen is play the run on your way to the quarter.
And he will take it in for a Bronco touchdown. Taking it in from a yard out. And the Broncos up the lead to 4 scores now here in this fourth quarter. Extra point from McManus is good. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to that big lead. After the touchdown, here's McManus now to kick it away. And this will be a touchback, so they'll bring it out to the 25. Now the Saints, they trot their offense out here. Well, it's been a struggle so far for this offense, Charles. It's not only that they haven't been able to put the points up, but really stringing yards together has been a real issue for them in this one.
I'm so glad you brought up the yardage because I was thinking to myself, we've seen a lot of NFL games, and we've seen our share of lopsided contests, but in almost all of them, both offenses put up at least 200 yards in a game, but not in this one. This has been a display of offense that, frankly, I think the two of us have watched from behind our hands, trying to spread our fingers wide enough to actually see the result.
Short completion, just 4 yards, and now it's 3rd and 3. To throw is Bourne. And that is incomplete.
And that's another play that's painted the picture of this game overall. It's been a blowout. It's been continually fueled by big turnovers and stops for one side and an inability to advance the ball from the other.
Now they go for it on 4th, but this one is going to wind up incomplete. The Saints' decision to go for it backfires. And the Broncos are going to get the football back in great field position. So the defense has to stay out and get one more stop. They were able to do it, forcing the incompletion.
So on their record, that goes down as a successful play. Doesn't matter how they got there, how it happened. They got it done. They're the ones that are jubilant.
And he'll go down at the 26 following a gain of 6. This is where, fourth quarter, you got the lead, you give it to the big guy. Defensively, kind of sucks the will out of them, doesn't it? Because they don't want to tackle him right now this late in the game.
But you say that with accusatory tones. I mean, but you're exactly right. I know it's not something we actually want to talk about, but as a defender, 4 quarters worth of trying to bring people down, 4 quarters worth of pounding, and now late in the game, here comes that big guy coming at you, and a lot of guys are wondering whether they want to come up and make that tackle at this stage of the game.
That's taken in by Dulcich. So they'll get nothing out of that play, and that'll bring up 4th down.
Excuse my snarkiness here, but isn't the idea of completing a pass supposed to mean you get downfield and gain yards?
Especially on 3rd down.
Yeah, that one. How about the defense? Figured that one out in a big way. Yeah, they completed it all right and lost yardage.
So the starting field position was terrific following the surprising turnover on downs, but the end result, only 3 points.
Simply stated, I think you have to look at that as a missed opportunity.
After splitting the uprights, McManus to kick it away. And he'll decide to not bring this one out as their drive will begin at the 25. And now the Saints get set to trot out there. At this point, partner, things looking pretty bleak. They still haven't scored here in the 4th quarter, facing the big deficit. Silver linings, what can they look to do here offensively?
You know, it's funny, I talked about this with a coach in the offseason and kind of had this scenario, like what feels good to you or what feels good to your team. You're down big. You really have like 1 possession left, and you're trying to put points on the board that don't matter. But do they? And he told me they actually do matter. And in this situation, he's going to try and run the best offense he can run to have at least a little bit of confidence.
Oh, you saw that one coming. It's intercepted, thrown back across his body. Picked off by Josie Jewell. And the Broncos are going to take possession of the football. So the ball changing hands on the interception. But meanwhile here, we do have an injury on the play. Well, injury's never good, especially here in the preseason. Hopefully nothing serious. They'll take a look at him, and we'll step aside for a moment. And he's able to motor his way down to the 16-yard line. And that one will go for 13 yards on the keeper and a 1st down.
Well, that's the fear any defense has when the quarterback gets involved in the running game. You don't usually account for him, and he's hurting them today.
Yeah, he's been very involved in the running game. Defensively, when you got the coverage good downfield, how do you account for him, though?
Occasionally, you start to spy him. Take someone who has the same agility, who can dance with and run.
Oh, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted. And the Saints are going to take over at their own 2-yard line.
Partner, have you ever heard the story of Icarus in mythology? That's the guy who flew too close to the sun and had his wings melted. That was our guy right there. Keeps pressing it and pressing it. Finally, on that throw, he paid the price with that turnover.
Getting set for their next drive, the New Orleans offense. And let's face it, this drive is not going to have any bearing on this game, but it's kind of important for one reason, isn't it?
It certainly is. You got to get points. And okay, all right, I'm being facetious here, but you get points, you feel a little bit better about yourself as you move on to the next one. Well, not a game that you're going to go crazy about, but when you start at your own 2-yard line, any type of space is good for the offensive guys.
Yeah, you just can't go backwards from here. They did it. Now we'll see if they can keep it on schedule here on 2nd down. So it's Saints football as we get you reset. They're looking at 2nd down now as they search for a consolation score. Throwing on 2nd and 8. Book. Oh, it's a screen pass. That's complete. And from the 4, they get it to the 8 on a pickup of 4. A nickel set defensively for the Broncos here on 3rd down. Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. And he'll be taken down, but he does have 1st down yardage. A 1st down throw for Book. Buying time to his left. Pressure gets to him, and down he goes. Back at the 4-yard line. It'll be a loss of 10. And it'll bring up 2nd.
But when this game is done, the credit will go to the consistent pressure on the quarterback as a huge cause of this win. Most teams are happy if they get a few of these games per year. You know they're going to watch this tape over and over, try to identify what's working, and keep it going.
Throwing on second and long. Book eluding the pressure right. And he'll protect himself at the end here as he winds up getting pretty decent yardage. Book from the gun on third down. And that is incomplete. 7 seconds remaining.
At this point in the game, they've got to continue to try anything they can. They're still working at it, even though this one feels like a lost cause.
Here comes the Saints punter now, standing about a yard deep in his own end zone. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away, taking a couple yards shy of midfield. So not just a blowout win for them today, Charles, but a shutout blowout win as well. Clearly just a superior effort on both sides of the ball.
Hey, didn't it feel like you get a touchdown, you get a touchdown, and then the defense jumped up and said, hold it, we're getting involved as well. You're exactly right. Big points, both sides contributing, a full team win.
Lights came, prime time action. Run it up, touchdown, I'm snapping. In the field with the plays, John Madden. It's a many given Sunday magic. Lights came, prime time action. Run it up, touchdown, I'm snapping. In the field with the plays, John Madden. It's a many given Sunday magic. Round of applause and you go, that's it. Damn, that's a bomb with a flick on my wrist. Jersey on my chest, that's a team that I rep. Came in, it's a rookie now, I'm balling like a vet. If you talking crazy, better say it with your chest. Hit him with the right, then I hit him with the left. Ooh, ooh. Then the juke move, Heisman, stiff arm, lights out, you snooze. Lights came, prime time action. Run it up, touchdown, I'm snapping. In the field with the plays, John Madden. It's a many given Sunday magic. Lights came, prime time action. Run it up, touchdown, I'm snapping. In the field with the plays, John Madden. It's a many given Sunday magic. It is not a game, it is not a game. Banging on your chest when I come through the pain. Never been about the money or the fame. But when it bring both, so here we go again. Wins on the road, yeah, I got